Today's walk is a 15-mile loop of Rutland Water. It kicks off from the Edith Weston Car Park and then heads west along the southern shore path, passing around the edge of the local sailing club before continuing onto the shore north of the local golf club. It takes a deviation south at the Lyndon Visitor Centre onto Lyndon Road heading towards Manton. Skirting the edge of the village of Manton, it briefly joins the path north alongside the A6003 before heading through Rutland Water Nature Reserve south of Egleton. It then continues northwards through Egleton itself through the Vale of Catmose, curving eastwards to progress alongside Stamford Road, also known as the A606. The route rejoins the northern shore path and then curves around the south the Barnsdale Hotel and Country Club, before it passes beyond and through into Barnsdale Wood. Jinking through the Whitwell Creek boating and water sports area, the route continues along the path through Sykes Spinney and then heads across the dam, or barrage, to head southwestward towards Edith Weston again. It does take time for a brief diversion out to Normanton Church before the circuit is completed right where it began. Well, this morning we are at glorious Rutland Water. And, well, I use we, me, I'm at Rutland Water, and I'll be going on a loop of the entire lake. Hoping to see lots of interesting things along the way, and I hope you enjoy the trip along with me. So this is just leaving the car park. Here at Edith Weston. No dogs, no drones. I'm going in the clockwise direction for this loop today. No particular reason, except last time I did it anti-clockwise, so just a bit more variety. While it is looking rather gorgeous, it is an extremely chilly 4.5 degrees at the moment. It's predicted to get up to the heady heights of 7 degrees Celsius later on today. But for now it's a bit chilly in the wind. I'm gonna roll my sleeves up, I think, actually. This first section is quite nice, gentle, it's all on path. So yeah, no parking. Something has hit that may need it to be parked. Hoping, of course, to see plenty of geese and waterfowl. Oh, there's some bunnies just over there, just hiding in that little hollow. So, lots of glorious life to see along the way. The thing about this route, though, if you go clockwise, well, the water's still there. It's not much more than half a mile or so before you're on sort of back roads, it feels like. Which is why it's nice. The south edge is definitely the route, or certainly going on the southwest edge of it, is the part of the route where you go along the lakeside the least. I mean, we are at least heading back towards the lake now. But I know we're going to take a sharp left-hand turn shortly because we're ducking around all the boatyards that are here. There's more boatyards on the northeast section as well, but you kind of walk straight through those. Still, on the plus side, it's a weekday today, so shouldn't be too many bicyclists shooting past me. I did a survey once when I was doing this route, and there's, you know, well over 100 cyclists past me on just the loop of the lake itself. Well, reservoir, I suppose I should say. Technically correct. The best kind of correct. There we go. More muddy path. Oh, look at that hedgerow, actually showing some greenery. That's a distinct improvement over Leicestershire, where I walked past some hedgerow yesterday, absolutely still bare. So here in Rutland, it's a little more spring-like. Huzzah! Crow up in that tree. Well, we're beyond the boatyards. and onto... To be honest, this is what I thought Rutland Water was going to be like the first time I walked it. I thought it was all with these nice rolling lakeside paths. As you see later on, there's bits of it that are like this, but there's also bits that are a bit more off track as well. If I'm very lucky, there'll be some bits that'll be totally underwater as well, given the rain we've had in recent days. But just look at that view. Gorgeous, and one little swan over there, and I do believe some ducks and a small flotilla of geese as well. A little fishing boat going past. And who do we have here? Down this little cut through. Mr. and Mrs. Greylag, I would say. Good morning, goosey friends. Back to the path we go. The way to go through is a track people have cut through there, just cutting off the corner. Yeah, that was it for the lakeside walking for a while. So we say goodbye to the reservoir. We start tackling the hills on this route. Compared to one around the far side, it is actually quite a small hill. But a hill it is, nonetheless. Although it is nice to be walking through the woodlands. Ooh, it's quite marshy underfoot still. I was living here in very late March. It might have dried out a bit, but oh no, sticky and slippery it is. Oh, that's the first of them summited. Sadly, there's more to come. Wish I could show you something more exciting, but this is where the trackway has got to. Still on the south edge. Oh, as we will be for the next 2 or 3 miles. The lake is right over there. And we're shortly going to be taking a diversion left to go up to the worst bit of the route, which just runs alongside the road. Not even with a track, it's just road. Still, before we get to that, there's a lovely statue of an eagle to admire. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. It is also a lot flatter here in comparison to the first few miles. Well, slight hills. Plenty of pheasants around today as well. Ooh, and a partridge just flying off there. We're now on one of the 2 most boring bits of the walk because it is just alongside a road. Down there we still have the reservoir, but ahead of us, the next half mile or so, it's just road. But that said, skies are nicely dappled and blue. Lots of fields around us. Hedgerow here isn't quite as far ahead as the hedgerow down by the lake side. So there are worse places to be walking, quite frankly, and my memory played me false. There's actually a lot shorter distance just on the road here. It's only a couple of 100 yards. And that's unless you bypass all the bit with the sail club, which case you are walking for a couple of miles on the road, which is a lot less fun. We will in time, of course, be getting down there. But that's probably about 3 miles away as of yet on this route, because we have to get through the village of Manton, just ahead of us first. So we're now on the far side of Manton, and I'm just hunting out the exit to this field on the far side. But there are, of course, lots of lambs in the field today, and quite young lambs as well. So I'll be taking a slightly circuitous route to avoid getting too close to any of them, while at the same time trying to avoid face planting into all the sheep droppings around me. Hello there. Oh, there's a lot of lambs, a little cluster over there. I'm just departing. It's nice. It's the first field in a while I've actually walked through with this many lambs in. So we are well into lambing season now. Yes, we are. That one just nodded. In agreement with me. Sensible lad. Well, for a bit of roadway, we're now into the Egleton Nature Reserve part of the Rutland Water Nature Reserve as a whole. Does mean you can't get quite as close to the lake as you might like. Just kind of over that fence there, inside the reserve itself. But the walking's good, it's under some trees. A month's time there's going to be some fantastic leaves, foliage I suppose, on the trees above, which will make this a beautiful, beautiful path. Right now it's still a bit marshy underfoot, but it's a recurring theme of this walk. But, you know, with only a few crows to accompany me at this point, the geese are a little further away. I haven't seen a pheasant for a while either. But lovely track. I was actually last down this particular neck of the woods, quite literally, last November when I was doing a hedge laying course put on by the local Wetlands Volunteer Trust. Highly recommended. Fantastic trainers, fantastic course. Nearly froze to death on the first day. I was very, very badly scratched, but you know, that's all part of the fun of learning traditional arts like that. They also do things like stone wall laying as well, dry stone wall laying. That was good as well, but I preferred the hedge laying. That was more me, I think. I like working with wood more than I like working with stone. So we're coming up on the edge of the Egleton bit of the nature reserve, and just over there is the fringe of Egleton itself, which means about a mile or so on the road to get to the north shore. It is a bit of a shame you don't see much of the western shore of the Rutland Water when you're coming on this route. Well, as I say, plenty of woods, occasional fields of sheep, and actually relatively hard standing underneath, which is nice. Egleton's a very pretty village, particularly springtime. You can see lovely crop on narcissi there. Cracking looking treehouse. Plenty of thatched cottages. Rather interesting church just round the corner as well. And the odd cyclist. That's one thing, I haven't seen that many cyclists still today. I think they're about the 5th cyclists in total. Well, this is just coming off the Egleton cycle path. Now we're going to be heading towards the North Shore over a nice stretch of road. Fun fact, this is one of the stone walls, well, it's the stone wall I was working on last September. The bit I did is actually further down there. This is old and not redone. The concrete on top of it, oh, the instructor John was not happy with that. It's not how we would do it today, or how we did it in days of yore. Fun day out, a lot of heavy lifting. I don't want to even calculate how long it would take us to do this whole stretch of wall. And it took 7 of us to do a stretch about 5 metres long, 2 days. Well, here we are on the officially dullest bit of the route. It runs alongside the very busy road next to us, which is the direct link road from Oakham to the A1. Unsurprisingly, there's always lots of traffic on it. It also seems to be where you encounter more cyclists than anything else. Again, it's a weekday, so fewer of them, but as a pedestrian, you do sometimes feel a bit hampered in your progress when the road comes belting past, seemingly unaware that, you know, it's a shared bit of roadway or pathway. I also just checked the mileometer that's been tracking me since I set off. I'm over the 7.5 mile point now, and as the route is somewhere between 15 to 16 miles, I think it's like 15.4 or something in total. I think I am almost officially halfway around Rutland Water. A moment of celebration and much dancing, if of course my legs would allow that at that point of 7.5 miles of walking, but So finally off that main road and just skirting the edge of Barnsdale Hotel to the left. Finally walking alongside Rutland Water proper again after many miles not doing that. Light is absolutely gorgeous. Admittedly, it's still not much warmer. Another field of sheep. And well, intimately marshy but fairly rocky path, as you can hear. Some puddles are more than others. Oh, hello. I always find the north side tracks have more walkers and more visitors to them than the south of Rutland Water. Don't know why. Maybe they're more accessible from the main road. Oh, there's the hotel. Associated lodges. Just for the record, I don't like this hill much. That's why I normally do this a route the other way around, because you kind of come down this hill and going up the other side is much slower progression. Ah well, today we're going up it. Barnsdale Woods now. Passing through another car park. In just a matter of weeks, this wood will be absolutely crammed with wonderful bluebells. They're still sprouting at the moment, so easily a couple of weeks away. But you know, for a few weeks of the year, this is absolutely stunning when you walk through here. It's nice enough at this time of year as well, but the bluebells really do take the biscuit for making an ordinary little Rutland wood look amazing. I mean, if you look at that, pretty much that whole view you can see there is carpeted with bluebells. So if you can imagine it, just a sweet sea of blue. Really is fab. Today though, it's more of a sea of mud we face. I've just flipped the map as well. I've realised I am definitely well over halfway now. I'm just going past the base of Hambleton's Peninsula, the very base of it there. Actually been to see the far shore again. I think I can about work out where the car is at this point, but still a ways to go to it. Not least of which the fact I still have to go across the barrage, which I have never managed to go across in anything less than howling gales. So we shall see today whether we can actually hear ourselves think as we walk across it. So, just passing through the end of the Whitwell Rutland Water Sports area. Lot of boats parked, quite a few fishermen all around. Still a few miles still to go, but scenery's still looking good, as you can see. It is a nice hard path though, and from memory most of the rest of the way is on this path. A signpost. Now allegedly Normanton Church, which is about half a mile from where my car is parked, is 2.5 miles. Now this was confusing because it says it's this way, but the church is actually right over there. So you can just about make it out in the distance. So allegedly it's about 3 miles still to go. I've never trusted those signs. I think it's near a 4, but I'm not going to argue with it. Over in the distance you can probably just make out what's called the Limnological Tower, home to, I assume, a storage of lemons. No, I'm sorry, it's the best I can do after 12 miles of walking. It's obviously something to do with the water levels or the water purity, I suspect. I can now just about make out the barrage in the distance, just beyond those sheep you'll be able to see ahead. Which is good because that marks the point at which we turn very sharply right. Because this is coming towards the end of the northern shore of Rutland Water, and then we're going to go across the eastern shore of it, which the barrage is a large but not an entire chunk of it. Just looking at the map there, it's probably about a third of it is the barrage. And here we are at the fabled barrage. I'm not sure it's its official name, but it's what I've always called it.
Now, I do apologise at this point if the wind gets so loud that you can't hear me. I shall certainly mute the volume at that point. But of all the paths, this is certainly the straightest. It also commands one of the single best views back over Rutland Water itself. It's a good quarter of a mile long at least, maybe a little further, maybe it's a third of a mile. You've got this beautiful view back along all the place we walk. There's the Limnological Tower, there's the Hamilton Peninsula again. Over there's the Normanton Church, and beyond it, Edith Weston, where we started off from, and where we will be finishing. Still, as you can tell, a little distance to go. Over this side, ooh, a couple of trig points down there. Sensibly out of the lee, or out of the lee of the wind. So, yes, definitely a better place to be. And yeah, last time I walked across here, I actually had to walk down there as the winds were just so strong on top of here, it nearly knocked me off. And, you know, I didn't fancy being blown over all the way over. But yeah, that's all where we walked over there. And just that little bit there, where we've got to walk still. Well, that was the barrage. And also as windy as it's been in the past. That was quite good, really. But here we are on to the main bit of the eastern shore, which is the majority of the route now. Building over there, well, you know, in our household we often refer to it as the Goose's Castle. One assumes it's some sort of administrative building for storage, actually. Which is a rather interesting little building, right here on the lake. Back there you can see the barrage behind us. And head, well, this is pretty much what the paths are like all the way back now to the car park for the next couple of miles. Nice and broad, plenty of grass around, and if we're really fortunate, plenty of wildlife. There's occasionally some sheep in this bit, but they're sort of more back in the previous sections. Around here, it's more the domain of the waterfowl. There it is, the little church on the tiny little outcropping that we're going to go in a moment. Which makes a very useful marker for being not much more than a mile back down to the car. I mean, to be honest, this is one of the bits I could actually skip and cut out 300-400 yards of the route. But you know what? It's always worth doing it, particularly when it's towards the end of the loop of Rutland Water. It's like a little victory lap. No, I don't have anything for you, sorry. Does give quite a nice view though out across the reservoir once again. And there we have it, the Limnological Tower once more, probably for the last time today. I think you can book this as a venue for weddings and the like. It'll be fantastic for that. Approaching the end of the route now. It's sadly not the most picturesque end coming this way around. Coming the other way around, you get a lovely bit of open pathway and open shores. Here it's a little bit more built up. I'm actually walking through the tail end of the car park here, actually. As you can see. Ooh, just one last push. Indeed, one last hill. I can see through those trees. I can see my car now. It's a lot busier in the car park than it was when I arrived. There was 2 other cars. It's now just past 1 o'clock. It's a lot busier. Oh good, I can cut through in front of these cars rather than walking on this gravel. Ooh, nice and soft though. And there we have it, Edith Weston Car Park in all its splendour, where we started off from 4 hours ago. And that's your lot. Here we are, back in the car park where we started from. If you've enjoyed this, I hope you like, share and subscribe. And if you like, leave a comment too. Other than that, thanks for coming along with me with Walking with Lava Balls.